In the last week, some of downtown Chattanooga's landmarks were vandalized with symbols of hate, and you spoke out publicly very quickly after that happened. What's the latest on that investigation?
Well, we're going to do everything that we can to find who did this. It's an awful thing to see this kind of hate graffiti in our city. It's not who we are. What I'm most proud of is that so many Chattanoogans came out and said, what can we do to speak out, make sure people know this isn't what our city's about.
All right. Now let's talk about another issue. We all talked about this earlier this week on the anniversary of the water main break, or whatever it was, and your office gave pressure to the Tennessee American Water Company and as well as local journalists, and we are still not getting information about what led to last year's water crisis. Tell us what could happen next.
Well, Tennessee American owes us an explanation. They're a public utility. They are granted the exclusive rights to deal in water in our community, and they told us for a year that they were going to give us a report saying what happened, and then last week told me that they were not. This is unacceptable, and we're going to continue to put pressure on them to change that decision.
Mm-hmm. Now, but before we came on the air, you mentioned the public, the Utility State Commission. Tell us how that might come into play.
Well, they have to go to the Utility Commission at the state level to get any kind of raise. We objected to them getting a raise for fixing this problem that they had. We're going to continue to talk to the State Utility Commission about making sure that we get that report.
Well, we'll look forward to seeing that. Hamilton County students and families are a few weeks into the new school year. Tell us about the city and how it's helping students and families learning remotely.
Well, we know about 1 out of every 3 kids is actually doing virtual learning, and many of those kids don't have an environment that's conducive to that at home, and so we're opening up our youth and family development centers. Right now we have several dozen kids who are going there every day. We're not teaching them, that's not what we do, but we are making sure that the environment is right for them to learn in our development centers.
All right, we're talking about the Styles L. Hutchins Fellowship, and applications for that have recently opened. I think a lot of folks don't know what this is all about. It's fairly new in the city, so could you explain that to us?
Sure. We want to make sure that we are a city where everybody can reach their potential. Part of that is growing and retaining our Black talent. The Styles L. Hutchins Fellows are all about how do we do that, and so we take juniors and seniors at UTC, listen to their ideas, they go out and talk to more of the community, and then implement those ideas so that more people feel comfortable in our city and that we can grow our economic potential accordingly.
All right, we can read about that on a website, find out a little bit more? You
can always go to our cha.city website. It's got all kinds of different information, everything from COVID to Styles Hutchins and many things in between.
All right. The pool of candidates for Chattanooga's next mayor is growing, and we know you haven't endorsed anyone yet. Do you plan to do so?
That's up to the people of Chattanooga. I'm not involved in that election. I don't plan to be involved in that election. I think every candidate has got to show what they're going to bring to the table, and I'm going to continue to look at that myself.
All right. Interesting. We've gone through this whole question session with you, Mayor, and we haven't even talked really about COVID, aside from talking about educating our students. But tell us what you think we are doing now. How is the city of Chattanooga standing?
Well, the mask mandate has really been helpful. We've seen our numbers drop since we put the mask mandate into effect. That's been incredibly helpful. We know that as more kids go to school, that is a place where we can see some kind of slippage back. But if we all avoid large gatherings, when we're together, we wear our masks, we wash our hands and try to stay 6 feet away from each other, we're going to continue to see this kind of progress. But again, it doesn't come naturally. We have to do things a little bit differently, and because we have, our numbers are coming down.
Yeah. All right. Mayor Berke, thank you so much for being here with us. We appreciate your regular visits to us here on First at 4. We'll see you again next month.
Thank you.